Boom. All right. Am I streaming? Am I on? All right, what's going on, everyone? This is Zen from Zen Multiverse, and I hope you're having a great day. Before I get started, let me just check the stream to make sure it is good. Zen Multiverse. Um, oh man, I sound absolutely amazing. Playing Q. All right, shout out to Andy. So Andy already starting us off. He said, was able to find the Silk Volume 1, Silk Volume 2, and Life of Candy for cheap. Plus Edge of Spider-Verse 1 through 5 for cheap. Really? Where'd you go? Did you go to LCS or did you find it online? Let me know. All right, guys, I am so glad to be here. I hope everyone's having a great day. So we're talking, you know, it's Zen Multiverse, but we're talking theories for Phase 4, right? And what is happening with Phase 4 so far, and what are the possibilities? So before that, team, time to hit that intro.
This one is for the teacher who passed me the math test face down and didn't think I was going to become successful. This is for 9 times 9 equals 81.
You will never amount to anything. We shall see.
Let's go!
All right, team, we are bringing it back. Okay, so Andy said online color and ATM, but I have the bookmark on my phone. Pretty cool. All right. All right, team, so let's get into it. Some of these dates are a little bit obscure, so I'm going to bring a multitude of pictures, not in any specific order, just really about talking points, rather, right? So let's kind of get into it. So we have a couple things to talk about. Black Widow, the movie Black Widow didn't really do anything, I would say, very instrumental for the MCU. We did get a chance to meet Lady... well, we got a chance to meet Black Widow's sister, and she is in the future of the MCU, right? Which is pretty cool. I would say that's about it. That's the you know, we did see Taskmaster. Now that character Taskmaster that appeared in Black Widow could appear later on. It's not to say like she died, right? Of something of the sorts. We could probably technically see that character back again. But let's get into some of the nitty-gritty stuff that really did propel the MCU or Marvel Studios, or yeah, the Marvel Cinematic Universe forward, right? We have Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So some of the most instrumental things that happen within that is, number one, we have basically Sam Wilson, who used to be Falcon, is now the new Captain America. So he dons it. Pretty cool. We still have the Winter Soldier, who's in it. Nothing too instrumental there, but we also have US Agent, who is imbued with the Super Soldier Serum, or a variant of it, right? It's not the same Super Soldier Serum that was used on Captain America, but still, nonetheless, it is very similar. So we have US Agent, but at the end of Falcon and Winter Soldier, besides Sam Wilson getting the suit, we also have Lady Hydra coming, and it seems like she's recruiting a couple of people, right? Now, the order that you're going to see in terms of these films are a little bit skewed because things got pushed forward and pushed back due to COVID and things of that nature. So I'm going to go next with Shang-Chi. Let me tell you all something right now. That was an amazing movie, and it was unexpectedly amazing, where I did not think it was going to be as good as it was when I saw it. It really did a couple of things, and One of the things that it introduced that I would say is pretty instrumental to the MCU, but it still opens up a question, is we saw the 10 rings, right? But we also saw the hidden city, I would say, the hidden city where they went to. I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure someone who's a little bit more knowledgeable in Shang-Chi in the movie will remember. But basically, it opens up the hidden cities, right? Now, one of the hidden cities that we might see in the future of the MCU is Kung Lao. I want to say Kung Lao, but basically, it's where Iron Fist he fought the dragon, he trained over there, and everything of that nature. Now, something pretty interesting is happening in the comic book world, and what's happening in the comic book world is they're about to introduce a brand new Iron Fist, and it isn't Danny Rand. We don't know who it actually is yet. I have an inclination and a theory that we are going to get an Iron Fist, not so much a movie, but just a character who appears in another movie, right? So, for example, let's say that we have Shang-Chi 2, right? That we're going to have other characters appear in his movie, right? Not that Iron Fist will have his own movie. And it seems that the character that we see in the new comic books that are coming up isn't someone who's of Caucasian descent, right? I might be totally wrong about that, but usually sometimes what happens is the comic books will reflect the movies, but a lot of the times, of course, the movies are reflecting the comic books. So I'm wondering why they're introducing a new Iron Fist. But again, going back to some of the important plot points is who made the 10 rings, right? I only want to see the movie Kung Lao. Yeah, it's not Kung Lao. It's Kung Lung. Kung Lung. Yeah, that's the city. I think it's because I was playing Mortal Kombat the other day. I'm just like, yeah, Kung Lao. It was Kung Lao. Hopefully Liu Kang is also in there. Imagine if they had a crossover. Or the name just appears. That would be pretty cool. So yeah, Shang-Chi, that's pretty much the most instrumental things I would say. Also, we got Abomination was in there. Abomination was in the movie, and that was pretty cool too, right? Um, so we might notice how there's certain characters that are appearing in these movies, and Lady Hydra was gathering people, right? So I do have another theory that Lady Hydra is preparing for, um, basically, she's creating her Dark Avengers, right? Um, or something of the nature, right? Next movie on the list, we have WandaVision. Now, there's two movies here. They're coming in different orders, right? That's listed here. Again, these are pre-COVID based timelines of movies, but still nonetheless, these movies either came out or are still on the verge of coming out. WandaVision was pretty instrumental in her becoming the Scarlet Witch, her also reading the Darkhold and utilizing it, because the Darkhold was created by a character, demonic entity called Chthon, which he imbued basically all the darkest magical chaos spells into one book, right? But the question is, will we see Chthon, right? I don't think a entity of such high level feats is going to be a character that's only spoken of and not seen eventually, if you know what I mean. But other than that, we also learn more about her powers and her powers to reality warp and reality and reality create, which is pretty cool, right? Trying to see anything else that we see in there. It kind of gives inclinations into the multiverse, but one of the things, the reason why we know this is because near the end of the movie, I mean the show, right? Wanda hears her two sons, right? She hears the voices of her two sons, but you would have to watch the show to know that she actually created her sons, right? Because Vision is, artificial creation, right? He isn't of man in the sense of he doesn't have the same parts that we would have, right? But somehow she was able to utilize the essence from Vision and herself to then create um, babies, which she did, Billy and Tommy. And Billy and Tommy, they have their own abilities that are very reminiscent to both Wanda and Wanda's brother, which is Pietro, which he had super speed, right? In the comic books, we have Wiccan, and we also have, I forgot the other name of this son, but basically their two names are Billy and Tommy, right? The next movie that you see on the list is Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. This is one of the next movies that are coming out, and it still hasn't released yet at the time of this recording. One of the movies that's at the top of this list in terms of like the biggest change, and it happened to be a show on Disney Plus, is Loki. Loki, oh my goodness, Loki did a couple of things. Let me just take this picture down. Wow, Loki did quite a bit. Loki opened up the doors literally to the multiverse, right? We also got a chance to see Kang the Conqueror, who's going to be one of the main villains that we see in the future of the MCU. Now, in the comic books, Kang the Conqueror is a time traversing character who seeks to do the things that he seeks to do. That's pretty much it, right? It's we see a variant of Kang the Conqueror, but not actually Kang, right? But again, Sophie, which is a variant of Loki, basically kills someone, and it basically opened up the doors to the multiverse, right? Which is pretty cool. But as you can see, in Spider-Man No Way Home, we also got Doctor Strange, who did something to bring people from other universes over into our world. But I would argue that it isn't only because of Doctor Strange. If anything, I would say the main portion for the multiverse being all over the place is due to Loki, the Loki show. Yeah, it's a really great show, unexpectedly. That's why I have more trust in Marvel now. Every time that I thought like, oh, there's no way they're gonna pull off a good show with this, they proved me wrong, right? Let's look at just another picture. As you can see, there's a you see Secret Wars here. There's a reason why. I have a grand theory that I'm going to bring up before the end of the stream, and that has to do with Secret Wars, right? And what that posed in the comic books and what that will pose in the future of the MCU. Okay, so we're next going to Hawkeye. Hawkeye didn't do anything that made us feel like, wow, this did something to the multiverse. No, it was more street level. We got to see Wilson Fisk from Daredevil, and yeah, that's about it. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that that was the most important part, but Hawkeye was just a solid, good show, right? I would say it was on par for me personally with Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I preferred Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but Hawkeye wasn't bad. It was nice to see on a weekly basis until the show ended, right? We introduced to Kate Bishop, which is a colleague and now partner of Hawkeye. I thought it was a good show, solid, good. Thor: Love and Thunder, it didn't come out yet. Notice how Spider-Man is not on this list, right? Blade did not come out yet, but we heard his voice. When did we hear his voice? We heard his voice at the end of the Eternals. Notice how I didn't talk about the Eternals. Now, the Eternals is definitely an instrumental movie. A lot of people are downplaying it because it doesn't fall in lines with the regular MCU formula. I'm okay with that. I'm not too sure what folks were truly expecting, right? These are just the titles themselves. I'm not too sure what folks were expecting when it comes to the Eternals. And I said it before the movie came out. I said it in a lot of the streams or the videos. I was expecting the Eternals to be a history lesson on the creation of the Marvel Universe. It didn't come out to be too much like a history lesson, but it was a history-based movie, right? The Eternals come to Earth, and they are perpetuating mankind in a lot of different ways, and there's a grand mission that they were given. But then there is some form of deceit because there is a grander mission, right? So it leads into a civil war of sorts within the Eternals group, because of the Celestials. We also get a chance to see the Celestials. And one of the Celestials, Tiamat, doesn't come to fruition, but we get a chance to see him emerge, right? And we get to see the gravity and the possible power for a Celestial, which is pretty amazing, and it's pretty daunting too, right? When I saw the Celestial, in the Eternals, I wondered, wow, this is grand level scale. Who could possibly go against these guys? Who? It's not the Eternals. It's not Shang-Chi. It's not even Loki. It's not any of the past Avengers. Like, who's gonna go against just the gravity, right? The gravity of the Celestials, right? It's pretty daunting, right? Which led into a question and a theory, right? If the Celestials are that powerful, right, then it begs the question, who can go against them? Here's my theory, right? Let me click on a couple pictures before I get into it. That's Kang the Conqueror. We're gonna get into a little. These are a picture of the Celestials within the comic books, but they present the Celestials in the movie very different. Very different. It even seems like they're just on a higher, grander scale than what we actually saw, what we see in the comic books, right? I'm gonna bring up a picture for you guys so that we could look at it, just so you could see the gravity, right? Which is pretty daunting. Here's a picture right here, team. Okay, so here's a Celestial that is talking to one of the Eternals, and towards the end of the movie, and even when he pops in, he makes some kind of gravitational black hole in order to teleport to Earth. And he's towering through the skies and piercing through the skies, right? Doing what he pleases. But these aren't characters that are bad characters. They have a grand design and they want to fulfill them, but they aren't characters that are like, whoa, these are the bad guys, right? Or anything like that. It's kind of like humans to ants. Humans are commanding ants to do X, Y, and Z, and it's up to the ants to follow or not follow, right? So it's intense, right? It's intense, and as you can see, there's many different types of Eternals. And one of the most instrumental things that we see towards the end of the movie, besides seeing the Eternals and the Celestials and learning more about it, is we see Thanos' brother. Yes, Thanos' brother is in the movie. Star Fox. So we see his brother in the movie, but it leads into another question versus heritage of Eternals, and is Thanos Eternal? We're not too sure truly and fully, right? But one of the things that is a little bit obscure in the Eternals is they say that Eternals cannot have kids, but still yet Thanos was born. And if he is Star Fox's brother and Star Fox is an Eternal, then it begs the question, who birthed Thanos? And how did that work? We don't know. Now, I did say the most instrumental, but we get a snippet of something. Two things, right? Black Knight is in the movie. Mr. Whitman, right, is in the movie. And we do see the sword, right? But we also hear the voice of Blade towards the end of the movie. And we can match it up to Mahershala Ali as the voice. We know Blade is coming. Now, you'll notice one thing in the movie is that some of the scenes take place in London. Blade in London, Black Knight in London. Now there's a brand new show that's coming out on Disney Plus, and that is Moon Knight. I'm going by the accents of the character, and I'm wondering, wow, they are setting up for something really big. I think in Moon Knight, we're actually going to see cameos. We might even see Blade. And I'm even wondering, is Blade the character who's uniting kind of like the characters who go against the supernatural? Does he need help? So I could imagine the Black Knight, Blade, Moon Knight, and someone else we're not too sure about. Thor Love and Thunder is a wild card because we're going to see a couple of characters, but we also may see characters that we've never seen before. And you know, one of the most exciting parts about all these shows is the end credit scene, right? We also have Fantastic Four that is confirmed, but we're not too sure how they're going to come into the MCU. I do have a theory about how they're going to get in here. And I think my theory truly comes in the form of Secret Wars, especially the X-Men. Now, I don't think what's going to happen is that we're just going to have a Secret Wars. I think they're going to give introductions to a lot of these characters. And then what happens next is a couple of things. We might see the Fantastic Four come through a portal, right? Where instead of them going through the negative zone, they're just on their end, in their universe, they're seeking ways to go into different universes, right? They're going through a process of exploration, right? And through their process of exploration, they come across what we have here, right? But maybe they're coming to warn us, right? They're saying from their universe that there's something that's happening within the multiverse, and on their universe there's a crack, and it's because of the events of Loki and also Doctor Strange. Basically his spell in Spider-Man No Way Home, but also what happens in the events of Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. And they're basically saying, hey, we need to stabilize everything that's going on. But then there's multiple Earths that are at war with each other, right? Because everything is coming to, and it's being said that the last Earth standing is the one that's going to do it, right? But throughout the movie, this possible Secret Wars movie, they realize that there's only one way to kind of do something, right? And that's to combine the universe to get it stabilized, right? All universes combined together, and we get one singular verse. Is that something that could happen? Maybe, maybe not. It's kind of far-fetched, but I just really wanted to kind of post that theory out there, just so that it's out there, right? We've been right about other theories before, so I don't see why we wouldn't be right about this one. Let me see. Anything else I got for you guys before we wrap it up? Now, remember, if you hear some of these theories first, remember that you heard it here. All right. Here's the next one. Kang the Conqueror. Do I think that Kang is going to play one of the biggest instrumental parts in the MCU? No, I don't. But also, Kang is not one of those characters that you're supposed to expect, like, oh man, he's a Thanos, right? He's not one of those characters that are just like absurdly powerful, but he's absurdly cunning, right? So that's what I want you to think about when it comes to Kang the Conqueror, right? Is we're looking at a character that's cunning, who has a grand plan, and the grand plan might have several layers to it that are way better, right, for lack of better words, than what Thanos is trying to do, right? Thanos just wanted the stone so that he could wipe out half of the life in the universe, but was that really a good plan? Because when you think about the scope of time, itself. Let's say that he wiped out all of life on Earth and the universe, which he did. It would still come back, right? People will still fornicate and resources will be used up. The same thing would happen in like, would Thanos technically do this every 1,000 years? And no, he wouldn't. And we know this is true because he destroyed the Infinity Stones. So what was was his plan really good, or was it just to give everyone time? But if time for what, right? Now there's some lingering plot threads that I'm like, wow, there's some things that are going on, and it comes in the form of the What If series. The What If series is really good. That's number one. Number two, they introduced a lot of different concepts that, if it's made by Marvel Studios, it is canon technically, right? So the question is, will we see live versions of the What If characters, because it is an animation, right? We see Captain Carter. I would love to see Captain Carter. Who else would I love to see? I would, they are gonna do a Marvel Zombie show. Excellent. So smart that they're doing it, because the Marvel Zombies What If episode was great. There were so many great episodes within the What If series. I feel like they were just testing out the waters a little bit. We also had the Multiverse Avengers, right? I'm not too sure if that was the label that they gave them, but it was pretty cool and interesting. Now, Ultron. I know I'm kind of going all over the place. Ultron was a character that is technically an AI system, right? AI system that was utilized and then destroyed. A body was destroyed. Who's to say that Ultron didn't upload his consciousness into another, I don't know, body? You know what I mean? And then we see him coming back in the future of the MCU. Maybe, maybe not, right? And he said, also, I picked up the Resident Evil comics and Mortal Kombat comics. I need to grab the Mortal Kombat X comics. Also, I have the complete Silent Hill comic series. I wonder how those are. The Silent Hill. And I'm setting up, because you guys, we talked about this yesterday in yesterday's stream, while we were just looking at like hot pictures of Vampirella. I think I am gonna do a story time. I just gotta check on a couple of things, like if I read X, Y, and Z, will I get copyrighted, right? Because I'm reading the words. But maybe I could do like quick, what is this called? Just paraphrasing as I'm reading, and do it in like a calm kind of thing, really gritty and amazing. Oh man, that sounds pretty cool. Oh, you got them years ago. Yeah, I haven't been too much into the story of Silent Hill, but I know of the plot and the characters. So yeah, it's something that I definitely gotta like get into, because I'm into horror comics. There's some dark, really dark horror comics. Some that will be like super. I would have to do a Zen Multiverse After Hours for those type of books, because they're really like, some of them like YouTube would probably take it down, maybe. I actually thought the thumbnail that I posted up yesterday, the Vampirella one, I thought that was gonna get taken down, but so far so good. Thanks, YouTube. All right, just wrapping up here. I'm not gonna kind of go on too long with this stream. Is last thing that I think that is missing. Zen After Hours, nothing but Vampirella covers. We got to do it like a 12 o'clock stream, kind of like how Toonami did. Toonami After Hours, Zen After Hours. You know what I mean? Shout out to the bot in the chat, the spam. You guys always coming out for no reason. Whatever you are, artificial intelligence, something. You're probably just gathering data. But anyway, I think Ultron could come back. But maybe he won't come back, only because they did such a great job with him in the What If series, where we had the Infinity Stone Ultron. So I don't think we're probably not gonna get him back. One character that appeared in Doctor Strange that we never saw again, he just made a bargain with, is Dormammu. We saw Dormammu, and he looked astronomically powerful. He almost looked, when Doctor Strange appeared to him, it almost looked like he was on par, right, in terms of size only, right, with the Celestials that appeared in the Eternals movie, which is pretty cool. All right, team. So I think that's it. That's all I got in terms of theories. I know I talked a lot. I also think that the X-Men are gonna appear. There's a lot of rumors that are stating that the X-Men, not the X-Men, or characters from the X-Men universe, from the Foxverse, will appear in Doctor Strange 2 in the Multiverse of Madness. I do think that's possible. Anything is now possible. After watching Spider-Man No Way Home and seeing Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield in the movie, and from their, from the properties that they were from, it lets me know that anything is possible, right? Disney will just have a planning meeting, and Andrew Garfield was able to keep his, to keep a secret, essentially. Yeah, he kept the secret for a really long time, and he did it well, right? He had many interviews and was like, man, no, I'm not going to be in the movie. That has to be photoshopped. And lo and behold, he was in the movie, and it was great. One of the things that does happen in the end, right? Spoiler alert if you didn't see it, but you already know. I only give nothing but spoilers anyway. At the end credit scene, we see Venom, or Eddie Brock, and he's talking to Venom, and then he gets transported back because part of the spell restoration that Doctor Strange did was anyone who that everyone should forget Peter Parker. And essentially everyone was brought back to their universe as well. But a piece of the symbiote was left in that universe. And one thing that we do know about the symbiotes is they have a hive mind. Doesn't matter what universe they're in, multiverse, anything like that, they still have some kind of communal or cosmic connection, right? Where one knows what the other one has done, right? Or something of the nature, right? Which is pretty cool. So if Zen wants to hop on Discord after the stream, I have an idea for the comic reading. Yeah, I'll check it out. I'll get on Discord for probably about 5 minutes. I have to turn on my notifications for Discord. I do have them off. I have a lot of things that are off during the daytime, but in reality, I said 5 minutes because my energy level is going down, and aka I'm gonna enter the sleep dimension, right? Guy with the camera, what's going on, bro? Appreciate you coming out. So we just talked quite a bit about the MCU, right? The possibilities. I do think we're gonna get Secret Wars in some sorts. It probably won't be an official Secret Wars. It'll be more or less, checking out what happened, what's going on, and yeah. So many things have happened in the MCU. Every time I think like, oh man, there's no way they're gonna do this, they're like, nah, we got money. They've been able to do really well. I can't wait for the Moon Knight show. I think it's gonna be really good. Instrumental, and just Oscar Isaac, he's a really good actor. So I don't see him. Oh, we were talking about Secret Wars too. The only reason why I mentioned Secret Wars, right, is because there are so many characters that are about to pop up. I do think they're gonna do some kind of convergence where, in order to fix the multiverse, they're gonna have to combine the multiverse, right, into one singular verse, and I think that's gonna happen. I think that's how a lot of characters, like the X-Men, for example, are gonna be introduced. I do feel that we're going to see characters in Doctor Strange 2 in the Multiverse of Madness that we didn't think we would ever see. There's a lot of rumors, right, that we might see the X-Men, we might see a variant version of Tony Stark. I do think that we might see... I do think we might see an X-Men character. I really do. I'm actually pretty confident in it from the Foxverse. The question is, which character are we going to see, right? And because of that, a lot of people are speculating for their comic books, right? I do think, yeah. So I don't directly think it's gonna be Secret Wars. It's gonna be Secret Wars-esque, right? Kai with the camera said, I'm mostly thinking it might be whatever that Kang versus Ultron Time War thing we got during the heroic age time in the Marvel. Oh, okay, I see. Yeah, I haven't read it through, but I know exactly what you're talking about. And he said, posted my thoughts and idea in the Discord. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. I'm definitely gonna look it up because I want to do that series. I wanted to do it a long time ago, right? That's why I actually got 2 cameras so that I could get a book, do a story time. I just got to figure out how to do. I can't read each panel, right? Because it's copyright. Shout out to the spam in the chat. Again, I do think Kang will be an amazing, amazing villain. If people are expecting him to be a Thanos character, they're gravely mistaken. He's not going to be a Thanos character where it's just all about power. He's a more cunning character because he's going to, depending on what timeline he's coming from, if he's coming from the future, then he has assets from the future, aka technology, right? Because one of the things that's very unclear in terms of timeline is during the Loki show, we know when he went, and they were kind of traversing the timeline a little bit and things of that nature. But what time period were they in? They say that time moves differently, right? In where they were, right? I can't remember the name of the place that they were in, but the question is, like, how much time has passed? And will we see this version of Loki come back? Not come back, we'll see him again, right? In Loki 2, season 2. But will we see this character, Loki, talk to Thor? I think that's going to be a great reunion. It sucks that the Loki from our main timeline died. We know he ended up being a good guy. He became a good guy, but I think this Loki is, I would argue that he's actually the prime Loki now. You know what I mean? Maybe. We'll see. We'll see. That show was so instrumental. So there's so many things that are going to happen. All right, guys. We were going to do a trivia. I'm going to hold off on the trivia for the next stream. I might stream tomorrow, just kind of showcasing some of the books that I got. I'll put it out there in my basically in the community tab. I'll put up a poll to see what I should do. It won't be a game stream. The gaming streams only happen Friday through Sunday, right? And those are pretty much planned out already. Where we have Super Mario Maker on Friday. On Saturday we have, I forgot what game we have. I think I have Dreams, but it actually might be switched to another indie horror game. But also on the last poll that I did, I put up which next stream. This is in the gaming stream, I think. And let me check it out right now. There was one that I just threw up there, and it did really well. It was close. Let me see. I think it was Spider-Man, Miles Morales. So let me kind of like go back on that. Here we go. When I said what was the next stream, this was about 3 days ago. It changed over time. This is so rad. Here we go. I said, what's the next stream? Dreams, this was on Saturday, I think. This is a couple days ago. Was Dreams, an indie horror game, and Spider-Man Miles Morales. Now, originally, Dreams won, and I cut off the time period and just left it there. Now I'm looking at it as of today. Spider-Man Miles Morales won. So I think you guys want to see superhero-based games, and I will deliver. If I do a stream on I forgot which day, right? Then I'm gonna I'm gonna bring it up. I'm gonna play Miles Morales. I did buy all of the Spider-Man games. So I have them all, right? But I definitely wanted to play Miles Morales for a long time. So we might do a little mini series on Miles Morales. There are some games that I did play on previous streams that I'm like, don't know if I want to continue playing it. Because if I'm not digging the game, it's hard for me to do a stream that's organic and just real. You know what I mean? I don't want to play a game I'm like the whole entire stream. You know what I mean? So yeah. But there's a couple of comic books that I want to do reviews for, and the upcoming streams that are happening are the gaming streams. But yeah, and I'll do a lot of minis too. Now you'll notice that I did a Powers Discuss video, and it was a micro video, right? Meaning that it was just a short. I'll probably do a lot of those coming up for a lot of these characters, right, that are popping up. I did a video on America Chavez. That video did really well. It had a slow burn. Now, really well for me. When I first posted that video, for the first couple of weeks, even 4 weeks, the video didn't even average more than 30 views, right? And now I'm looking at it, and it's at 461. Why? Because we're getting closer to Doctor Strange 2 in the Multiverse of Madness. And I posted another character, which is Rintra, Powers Discuss. I might redo that video, bigger version than the short version. I have it on my TikTok. So I might start linking my TikTok videos, right? I do have a TikTok, and it is in Multiverse. And I'll upload, it's just shorts there, basically. But anyway, I'm ranting and raving now. Guys, I hope those of you who came out, guy with the camera, Andy, I'm definitely gonna check out the Discord for those things. Shout out to the spam in the chat, right? But with that being said, team, I'm gonna hop out of here. This is Zen from Zen Multiverse, saying peace, love, and prosperity. If you're enjoying the content, you already know what to do. Drop a like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. And those of you who are watching the playback, thanks. Shout out to you guys, right? I know there's a lot of different streams out there, and you guys come to mind. Appreciate you guys. Later.